Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. It's been a while, my friend. It's been a while. I'm Chris Witt. With me, as always, Mr. Adam Schmidt, back over the Zoom. Adam, how you feeling, big dog?
Feeling wonderful. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Ready for 2021 to be over.
Yeah.
Ready for 2021 to be over. A lot of crazy stuff. We haven't been on the last couple of weeks. I want to thank everybody and anybody that has heard and has said anything to me. I appreciate all the thoughts. Today is a special day, Adam. It is Wednesday, December 29.
Yes, sir.
And there's no TH after December 29. It's only December 29. It will always be December 29.
Absolutely.
Paul Witt today would be 53 years old. God rest your soul, my brother. And yeah, that's all I got about that. So
he'd tell you about Synergy Field blowing up on his birthday.
Yep, that's exactly right. They blew up Synergy Field on his birthday, and we were there as close as you could get without being in the rubble. That's for sure. Yep. Great times, man. That's a good one. I forgot all about that. That's right. They blew up Synergy Field. It was a decent day too. It was a halfway nice day. Sun was out. You were there, weren't you?
I don't.
Were you with us? Eric Kagel was with us. Kagel Bro was in the house.
I don't think I was there. I don't think I was.
It was a good time. We had a good time. It was cool because you could hear when they blew up Riverfront Stadium or Synergy, whatever you want to call it. When they blew that thing up, they like set off a bunch of bombs or explosives, and it went in a circle around the stadium.
Yep. And
you heard like 10 of them. You saw the smoke immediately, and then you heard the explosions go off because you couldn't be anywhere near the thing. Right. It was one of the coolest things, and it just slowly collapsed in a circle. It was really cool.
It looked like dominoes, like how we used to set up dominoes and doing that. Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Absolutely. And then it went down. So, happy birthday, Paul Witt. It's been a rough few weeks, but we're back, man. We're back. It's Christmas. We've been through Christmas. A lot of people aren't doing Christmas because the Rona's ran rampant. It ran rampant. I didn't run rampant, but it went through my house. It got one of the kids. Somehow we all came out on top of that bad boy. But just to be safe, we're going to do at least one more week here from the old Zoomer room and go that well.
That's right. Happy to be
back. It's the first time I ever said Zoomer room anyway. But we got some things to do.
That didn't sound like a Chris Wittism.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk. Yeah, we'd call it something else, like a room or something. But I want to talk about Christmas gifts. We've got our Mount Rushmore. We've got our NFL picks as we always do. Got some pretty interesting thing going on in the NBA, and then Lance Woods. We watched him do Undeniable, and we'll go from there. So, Adam, before we get started, bud, Christmas was last week. I believe, right? Saturday. I guess technically that was still last week.
4 days ago. Yeah.
4 days ago. Christmas 4 days ago. Tell me, bud, did you get anything good?
So we have some illness through our family too. So I haven't gotten all of the gifts, but one of the gifts that I know I will be getting from my brother is one that I bought myself.
Nice.
Because the poor guy, they haven't been able to get out much because everybody's been sick in their house. So, but I'm very excited to open the box of 1992 Fleer Ultra baseball cards that I will be receiving from him that I bought a few days ago. I'm going to be very excited about that. I'll have 36 more packs to open. I
love it.
I'm pumped.
Dude, that's the baseball cards. You can't get much better gift than that, especially when you get back at the old school. Do you have a set? Do you have a set going for that? Do you know what cards you're missing?
So no, I have plenty of those. And I don't know. I'll have to go back and find that binder and see what I need. And I'll have to do that. Yeah. Cause I just redid all my cards and put them all in order and everything. So it should be easy to do. So I'm excited for that too. I also got 2 ornaments that I was very excited about. So one is so my favorite movie of all time is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, even at almost 40 years old. And I got
the Gene Wilder, not
the Gene Wilder one, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yes. So I got a ornament of my name in the Willy Wonka font, and it has like a Wonka bar attached to the M or something like that. It's super cool.
Nice.
I got that, and then on my dad's side of the family, we had a little get together, and we all wore masks for that. And but we did get together. Not everybody was there.
I love how you have to. I love how you prefaced it.
Well, I did, and I was actually glad. I'm not glad for the reason, but we had it at my aunt's house, and her husband, my uncle, has cancer, and he's been going through chemo. So extra important to make sure he stays
healthy. Dude, it's so important for that. Just had a good buddy of my dad's just passed away not that long ago. He had cancer and ended up catching the Rona and was on a ventilator for over a month and kicked the bucket. So definitely good. Better to be safe than sorry when you have people like that you're going to be around.
That's right. So that was a good thing. And then there so we do a white elephant. I ended up with a Skyline gift card, and which is perfect for me. And then and then
I turned the boom mic on, and now it's picking up everything that gets yelled in the whole house. I turned it on because as this tradition for the Christmas/New Year's podcast, Parker James my boy is always down in the Rum Dum Studios. He's over here playing a little 2K22. 2K22, is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
2K22. So I set a little mic up next to him so you can hear if he's got anything he wants to remark.
Perfect. I can't wait.
What's the score?
45-37. I'm winning.
Who are you?
Lakers.
Who are you playing?
Raptors.
Nice.
Okay. I don't know if that's realistic for right now because the Lakers can't win a game, but
we may talk about that.
Yeah. Anyway, so to finish quickly, my aunt, when we were done with all that, I thought that was the only, because we don't really hand out gifts for everybody because we have a huge family on that side too. My aunt came up to me and said, here, and she's giving out all these little things to everybody. She gives it to me. I open it up. It is an ornament with a little like wallet sized photo of my grandparents on my dad's side of their wedding day.
What?
Oh, love it, man.
That is so awesome.
Love it.
Oh my gosh.
They've been gone for
20.
Yeah, they've been gone for 20 years, but they usually somebody every year comes up with something. My sister a few years ago had these little like jars made, like the glass jars made up, because my grandma had one in her house for forever, and she always had M&Ms in it. It was filled with M&Ms, and I think it said like Merry Christmas on it or something like that. And she always joked with us, like we would want to get M&Ms out of there. And she said, no, you can't have those. Those are for ho-ho, meaning Santa. And so that was the running joke. And then of course she would let us have as many as we want.
Of course. But
so my sister had these glass jars that were very similar to the one my grandma had. And she had printed on there, these are for ho-ho or something like that. So for like 3 years in a row, those were really popular. Everybody wanted her to get one made, and she put them in the white elephant. She got us one, all us in the immediate family. One of my favorite Christmas gifts as well. So we usually every year somebody does something involving my grandparents. And that was super
That's awesome, man.
So, anyway, what
really
did you get? What did you get that you got excited about?
I got some good stuff, but I'm going to tell you, I got the one thing that I asked for one thing this year, and I pulled it out, and I got the old gun, the old massage gun.
Oh, okay.
I hate massages. I'm not a big fan of massages. People are either too light and it tickles me like crazy, or it's too deep and it hurts like a son of a gun. So I got one of these little kicker guns, little, it's got a ton of attachments. You only ever see the ball on the end, but it's got a bunch of them. But yeah, so I can adjust the speed to myself. I can do it. Feel good about it. I have not used it yet, but pretty excited about that. I got to tell you, my favorite gift though wasn't even mine. Parker, my son, got a box of Topps 21 Series 2 baseball cards, and he allowed me to help him open them. We opened them together, and when we were done, we sorted them out. We had, we got the relics out of there. You got all the fancy cards. We got everything all situated. We were one card short from the full set. We have not got that card yet, even though we've looked through couple times and had my nephew take a look at his doubles too. He didn't have one of the one we needed.
What
If
is the
anybody's got
card?
a
Do you remember?
Sam Huff rookie card, catcher for the Rangers.
Okay.
I already have a Sam Huff.
We've got a Sam Huff, but it's not the it's an insert. It's not
Oh,
the card in the actual set. So anyway, we got those, and then Parker likes opening them and he loves putting them in the sleeves, but I really like sorting them all out and putting them in binder pages and putting it in a binder. So I got myself 130 binder sleeves and started. I actually, we were a little late today because I was upstairs putting the rest of what we had in sleeves. So I got the whole second series in there. Series 2, Series 1. We've got about half the cards for Series 1. I got those put in there in order, and the update series I've got almost done. And then I haven't put in the sleeves yet the holiday series, which Walmart for 1 month in for 1 month in November, I think it is December, November. I don't know. They only put it out for 1 month. And it's a box. You can only get it at Walmart. It's the holiday series tops. And it's got like snowflakes in the background. You still get your relic inserts and a bunch of other stuff. But Parker and my nephew from my dad each got a box of those. So now I got to go put those into sleeves too, dude. I'm running out of pages, binder pages, quick. I don't know if I should just start buying the little plastic sleeves, which I did end up buying 300 of those. 900. There's 3 packs of 300. So I have 900 of those. I'm thinking about just sleeving every single card and putting them in a box.
very nice. Chris, when I did that, I might have told you that when I did that with my cards, exactly what you're talking about, putting them in binders, sorting them all out.
Yeah.
I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on sleeves and
joke,
binders
because no joke.
I went full. I got the best binders I could find. I got the Pro Ultra or Ultra Pro or whatever, the really good.
I wish I would have done that with the pages, the binder pages, because so the first pack, we had a pack of 30, and I got, you can get 300 and almost 300 cards in there or whatever. So I had almost the whole second series put in that, outside of the 600 cards, which are 600 to 660. So 601 to 660 I couldn't fit in. I didn't have enough sleeves, so I've had those sitting there. I bought a pack of 100 on Amazon. It was a bad move. Amazon Basics or whatever you call it, I guess is what they were. I didn't even realize it. They're flimsy. They're more flimsy. Like the cards, if you turn them sideways, not even upside down, just sideways, they'll start coming out. So I'm definitely going to invest in much better sleeves, much better binder pages later on. But that's probably my favorite thing. I've been messing with that like crazy. I've been playing with those cards. So now I'm in, dude. I'm 100% in. Parker, you 100% in?
What?
On baseball cards?
Yeah.
So outside of that, my other favorite, Parker got NBA 2K22 and he got FIFA 22.
My most favorite game.
His most favorite game. So he had 2021 NBA 2K21, and I told my wife the other day he's not.
No, it's NBA 2K20. Just 20.
The one upstairs is 20. The old one
Yeah.
was 20. All right, the old one was 20, which makes sense because the Lakers were unstoppable in that, and that would have been when LeBron and AD first got together. So he beat me in it, and I came downstairs and I looked at Aaron, and this is right before Christmas, and I said, we need to get this gift opened up because I legit got beat by Parker. She said, what? I said, he legit beat me. Like I tried my hardest the entire game and he legit beat me. And now we got 2K22, which is just slightly different. And we've been back and forth. He's beat me pretty good. I beat him pretty good. So we're learning how to lose in sports games, which is a little tough for Parker, right? Kind of, he says. Yes, it's a little tough for the P-man when he loses. which is kind of a good thing because you
No,
want to
it's
win.
not.
Well, you want to win. I want you to want to win, but you also have to be a good loser. And what do I do when I lose?
Cry.
I do not cry. I look right at
Telling on
him.
you.
I shake his hand and tell him good game. Tell him good. Now, during the game, yeah, I get pissed off during the game. I start yelling and I jump up off the chair, off his bed. And I'm all kinds of irritated. But so no, those I love every bit of those. And I know there's more, and I'm sure. Oh, I got a world's best dad mug from one of the girls. So that's always, you gotta love that.
Very nice. Very nice.
There you go.
Let me ask you on that game. Do they have can you be old teams?
Yes, you can be.
That's what I'd be excited about.
So every team has 3 teams with it, right? They've got 1 or 2 of the best years that they ever had, right?
Okay.
And then they'll have an all-time team. So you could be the Bucks, from Sam Cassell years, or Oscar Robertson years. Is that right? No.
What?
Who's the other guy on the Bucks? What's a Bucks team that was really good?
Lou Alcindor would have been Kareem would have been on.
Kareem, maybe it's one of those years. He just said Gobako for the Bucks because that's one of the teams I beat him with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
There you go.
He destroyed me. He's giant.
Real life. That's how he is in real life too.
Absolutely.
Giant.
It's real life, bro. That's real life. So anyway, yeah. So here's the deal. They had in 2K20, LeBron is in as point guard. Okay. That's where they have him on the Lakers as the point guard. Therefore, the point guard on the other team automatically guards him. And he just beats him up. So I went on when I played with the Bucks and I switched to who they was guarding and I made it to Giannis automatically guards LeBron. All of a sudden, LeBron wasn't so good anymore. LeBron wasn't dropping 45. LeBron dropped 45 on me one game. It's ridiculous. Luka was not the same in 2020 as he is in 2022.
Oh,
sure.
Luka is not the same at all.
He's way better in 2022. So anyway, that's been a blast.
2K20, when Luka tries to make a 3, you miss.
Yeah. In 2K20, Luka missed a lot.
Well, that's
I don't know if
real
you can
life
hear
now.
him or not.
He
Can you
doesn't
hear
miss
him on that?
anymore. Yeah.
Okay, good. Not good. All right, so that's that. Yeah, that was fun. It was good. But you know what else? Speaking of 2K, and speaking of NBA, you told me you didn't want to let me know what it was, but you think that there is a record that's going to be broken this year that hasn't been talked about that's bigger than the Steph Curry all-time 3-point record.
What?
Yeah, and I'm glad I got that reaction because
It's so true.
I mean,
No.
historically,
Steph Curry's one of the best 3 years.
He's one of the best threers. Steph Curry's one of the best threers.
he's the very best, but
He is the best.
that is one thing in a game.
It's actually true.
It is true.
He
Well,
doesn't
so-
miss
All
a
right,
3.
We got it. You're right, bud. You're right. He doesn't miss a 3.
I 100% agree with that.
All right. So in the years past, Parker would just sit here and be quiet while we did the podcast. Now we've got Chatty Cathy.
We invited him.
We
It's
might,
okay.
have to mute his mic every now and then.
No, but the thing that is coming up, the record that is about to be broken, that I think is even bigger. Now, it's not as exciting, but an even bigger, more meaningful kind of record is the NBA, the all-time coaching wins. And Greg Popovich, who, if you've listened to every episode of this podcast for all these years, you probably know that I'm a Greg Popovich apologist, or whatever you want to call me, a shill or whatever. But anything he does is gold to me. So, and even though the Spurs aren't the same Spurs as they used to be, they're down a little bit, but they have an exciting young core. I'm not going to get on the Spurs. Greg Popovich is 11 wins away from breaking the coaching record, or breaking the wins record for coaches. He still has to. He's third right now, but Lenny Wilkins is second, and 3 more is Don Nelson. So Don Nelson has the most wins, but he only has 3 more than second place Lenny Wilkins.
So Don Nelson and
Yes.
Lenny Wilkins are 1 and 2.
That's
You
correct.
want to know why this isn't being talked about? Because the top two guys are Don Nelson and Lenny Wilkens.
Don Nelson,
It's not like he's passing up Phil Jackson or Red Auerbach.
Well, he already did that a while ago.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Those are more important victories than Don Nelson. That's just the reason Lenny Wilkens has that many victories is because he coached till he was for like 67 years.
He coached every single team in the NBA.
I'm pretty sure he did.
But look, Don Nelson coached those the high octane offense teams. He was the coach during the Golden State Warriors when they were really, really good. The even went from the Chris Mullin era into the Chris Webber era, and the Latrell Sprewell and that whole era there when they were scoring 110 points a game or probably more than that. And winning a ton of games. And then he coached Dallas for a long time when
He won
Nash
the
and
championship
Nowitzki
with
were
Dallas.
first there. What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And even before that, when Jason Kidd and Jamal Mashburn and Jim Jackson, those guys were there. He coached some good teams for a long time. And you're right, Lenny Wilkens, but they were both really good coaches. I mean, they both won a ton of games because they had
Not
good
taking
teams all the
anything
time.
away from him.
Yeah.
Not taking anything away from him. But when you think of Don Nelson, you don't think of the greatest coach of all time.
No, you're right about that. You're right.
I wouldn't even is he top 10? I don't know. Maybe he's top 10, but I think of Pop as top 5 coach of all time.
Absolutely.
So it's going to mean more once he breaks it and someone gets close to him. That will mean more than him actually getting this record. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And look, he has, Don Nelson may have won a championship. I'm not even sure he did. Lenny Wilkens.
As a player, you mean?
No, as a coach.
No, Don won one. He won the one with the Mavs. He was not the Mavs. Dallas with the Mavs. He was the coach when Dirk won it, wasn't he?
Rick Carlisle.
That was Carlisle.
Yeah.
He may not have one.
I don't think he has one.
Unless he's got one sitting on a bench somewhere, sitting down, a few seats.
Maybe early in his career or something. Yeah. But and I'm not even sure Lenny Wilkens has one, but Pop has 5. And he was,
exactly.
he's been the longest tenured coach in the NBA for a long time. And yeah, I mean, longevity means something, I think, and it did for them. That's why they got all those wins. But Pop has had the Spurs at the very top, and he always credits, he's the most humble guy ever. So he credits Tim Duncan and Ginobili and Parker and David Robinson and all the guys that came.
Absolutely.
And but I'm excited about that. And I think you're right. You said earlier that in a week, when he gets to within 2 or 3 or 4 games, they'll start talking about it a lot more. And I'm going to be excited about that when Twitter goes crazy after he breaks it with a whole bunch of Pop interview stuff, because he is an old grumpy man, and it's my favorite thing when he does interviews, because he's very funny. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that if you talk to his players, he's a lot like Belichick, right? Like, Don't ask me a stupid question or you're going to get a stupid answer. But at the same time, every player's like, dude, he's funny. Like and Pop in interviews is pretty funny sometimes. Like especially when he thinks about the answer and then all of a sudden, like, you ask him a question, he's got to think about it because he wants to be a smart aleck, but he doesn't know exactly what to say. And then he kind of smirks and says something. Those are always the best ones. Very dry
sense of humor for sure. But I love when he gets interviewed, because he gives reporters a hard time. He makes them feel dumb, which is not good. I don't like when other people do that, but for some reason, Greg Popovich does it. I don't know. It's just funnier.
Well, now it's done. Now I think a lot of it is he does it because it's kind of what he does. You know what I mean? Everybody's expecting it. So you got to keep it going.
Absolutely. So look, and you know what? He's close to the end. I think in the next, a lot of people were saying next year he's done. He's done maybe after this year, because they're talking about Becky Hammond taking over maybe as the first female head coach.
She's been on his bench for like 8 years now.
It's been a while.
Feels like
she has been the head coach of games when he's been thrown out, which he still gets thrown out all the time.
And when he was sick too, a couple of years back. He got a little sick for a little while, or maybe his wife was sick or somebody. He was out for a while.
His wife died like 2 years ago. Yeah. And he missed.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
So anyway,
Tell her
I just love him, and I can't wait when he breaks it. The flood of stuff on the internet about Greg
Yes.
Popovich, I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna have to take a day off work, I think, when that happens, just to do that.
Yes.
But I that's coming up, and people aren't saying a whole lot about that yet. I think you're right. Pretty soon they will. Number 10 on this list is the next active head coach, and that's Doc Rivers. I figured he's far enough away that it might take another 6 to 8 years, depending on what kind of seasons they have. Now he's coaching Philadelphia and they're good, but and then whenever they get something for Ben Simmons, if they ever do, maybe they'll improve even more. But however that goes, Doc Rivers, I think, is the next guy that has a chance to break Popovich's record.
Sure.
And then
and he's not that. I don't feel like Doc is that old.
No,
I don't feel like Doc is super old. I mean, he's got a kid in the league that's he's got to be. I mean, he's been in the league for about 5 years now, 6 years, so he can't be 30 years old. So Doc can't be 60 yet, is he? Is Doc 60?
I think Doc's at least 60. Yeah.
Keep telling me what you think about it, because I think Doc Rivers. I told you to think about what you would say to me, and then I kept talking.
Doc Rivers is exactly 60 years old.
He's 60 years old. Okay, well, there you
go. But
he's got 10 years in him.
He can coach another 10 years, and he can get enough.
Easy.
If he gets, I think I figured about 45 wins or so, something like that, which would be a reasonable amount. he should be able to break it. And then Rick Carlisle's 15th right now. He probably has another. He might be close to Doc Rivers, because I think they played about the same time in the league. But Rick Carlisle is like 200 behind Doc Rivers. So that would be another 4 years or something like that, maybe. But there's a chance he could do it. Nate McMillan's 19th on the list, and Eric Spoelstra's 24th. Those are the only guys that I think even, remotely could, especially Spoelstra. He's not that old.
Spoelstra's so young, and his teams just always seem to be above average.
Yep.
Dude, I'm telling you, you get a bad team and win 20 games, or 25 games, something like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That, like, if you just have you can double your wins in a year.
Yep.
by just continuing to have. So once again, it's not all the coach. That comes down to general manager. It comes down to players that are, there's a lot that goes into it, which is why Pop always talks about his guys, especially here lately, because it's not like they've been great.
Right.
So he had a hell of a front office and some incredible talent on a lot of those teams. I mean, he went from David Robinson and didn't skip a beat, right? His first couple of years was David Robinson and Elliott. What was his name? Sean Elliott or something Elliott.
Yep.
Those guys, and they were good. They were good. I mean, they were in the playoffs every year.
Yep.
And I don't know how long he had them before he jumped in and then Tim Duncan was there with David Robinson at the end. Yep. Robinson's career, and that moved into Ginobili and Parker. And it's like, dude, come on. When did he start? When did Pop start with the Spurs?
I think it was 97, maybe something like that. 96 or 7. I want to say.
That's insane. I could be wrong. So
99 was their first championship. What's that?
Right, and he was there before then, right?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, he was
Vinny Del Negro. So Duncan was on the team at that point. Sean Elliott. I'm just looking at 97, 98. Vinny Del Negro, Sean Elliott. Who else we got on here? Jaren Jackson, Avery Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Avery Johnson was on that team.
Yep.
Oh man, Avery Johnson one time won a game with 4 players on the court at Arkansas.
They had Steven Jackson.
Alabama. Was it Arkansas or Alabama? I love
Alabama.
Avery Johnson.
Alabama.
God, he won a game with 4 players on the court. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Will Purdue was on that team. Dude, Will Purdue was still in the league when Greg Popovich started coaching. That's insane. Chuck Parsons, David Robinson, Malik Rose, Monty Williams. That was a good team back then. I don't know that he was even the coach of this team, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah. 96, 97 was his first year.
That was his first year?
Yep.
Oh, so it's 2 years before this. Let's see if we can find out. Let's see that roster. I want to see because I want to know when Tim Duncan got on, when Tim Duncan was on the team. If he was there before Duncan.
I think it was 97, 98, I think was Duncan's rookie year, I want to say.
So the one I just looked at, that was Duncan's rookie year. How do I do this? 96 Spurs.
Yeah,
I just had it. You think it'd pop up easy. Here we go. Oh, this is 95 next season. Okay. 96, 97, right? That's what you said?
His first year. Yep.
All right. So this Spurs team.
47.
Wow, that's terrible. Corey Alexander, Greg Anderson, Joe Courtney, Vinny Del Negro, Sean Elliott, Jamie Fike, Devin Gray, Darren Hancock, Carl Herrera. I feel like I remember that guy. Stephen Howard, Avery Johnson, Tim Kempton, Vernon Maxwell was on that team. Galen Nickerson, Will Purdue, David Robertson, Jason Sasser, Charles Smith. Dude, you know who Greg Popovich coached? You'll never guess what NBA all-time great, top 15 player of all time I'm just saying that off the top of my head. I assume he would be top 15, at least top 25. One of the top 3 greatest dunkers of all time.
Oh, yeah. Dominique Wilkins.
Dominique Wilkins was on that team.
Yeah.
That's insane. Monty Williams. How crazy is that? Dominique, I didn't even know Dominique played for Spurs.
That's right. He played for the Celtics too. Do you know that? Yeah.
Sure didn't. Good for him.
Dominique got around late in his career, kind of like Shaq.
But a little Shaq action.
But the first year Popovich took over, they went 17-47. The next year, which I think was Duncan's rookie year, 56 wins. 56 wins, and then the year after, and then the year after that, championship.
There you go. It's that simple, bud. It's that simple. Just put the right guy in place and put Tim Duncan on a team with David Robinson, and you're good to go.
That's right. And that is why he truly says
to the top 15 greatest big men of all time on the same team.
Easy. All right. So I just had to gush about Greg Popovich for a little bit there. I'm sure I'll say something about it again in a couple
we
of
will
weeks.
Definitely. Well, see, he needs 11 wins, you said?
Yeah. And their game tonight was postponed because COVID is postponed.
When's the last month of the regular season?
March. I think they actually go into like the first.
We'll probably talk about it in March. Sometime in March, we'll talk about this again. When he gets another 11 wins.
They're putting together a few wins.
Although it might take that long for the Lakers to get 11 more wins.
I know.
I've been dying watching this team, dude. It's such a struggle watching these guys right now.
I haven't watched a ton, but I see their scores and their stats every night. LeBron's putting up great numbers, but they're just not winning. And of course, everybody's ganging up on Westbrook and saying they have to get rid of Westbrook if they're going to win again.
He's not playing bad, though. Westbrook is not playing bad for this team. If you go back and watch, that is so easy. That's such an easy cop-out.
I know.
Because I record the games because Parker loves to watch them. So I'll play the end of game. If they're good games, he'll watch them when he's eating breakfast or something like that the next morning. But dude, Russ is not the problem. Russ is not the problem. Russ steps in and does his thing when he needs to do it. Westbrook. Hey, Parker's watching the game the other day. How many games have they played now? Right? 30 some games.
Yeah, something like that.
He's watching. This is a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We're watching in the morning. He's eating breakfast and he goes, Westbrook is on the Lakers? Where have you been for the first 25 games of the season, dude? What have we been watching in here?
And I noticed that LeBron's number 6.
That's right. And he noticed LeBron is number 6 now, right?
Yeah.
Because in 2K20, he was number 23. So anyway, but yeah, it's not Russ, dude. They haven't been healthy together. And I'm going to tell you this. I said this at the beginning of the season when they picked him up. The teams Russ has played for since he left OKC, the first half of their season has been below par, below average for what you would expect. And the second half of every one of those teams has had explosions in the second half. That's a cat that you gotta figure out how it works, right? Mm-hmm. He's so explosive. He's not really ball dominant, but he is ball dominant. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but he can not be ball dominant, but for him to do his thing, he needs the ball in his hands because he's not going to catch and shoot from three all day, right? LeBron later in his career now can do that more than he ever did before. LeBron, obviously, with the ball in his hands is great, but he can post up. He can do so many different things. He can catch and make things happen. Westbrook needs the ball in his hands. Now, at the same time, can he still help your team without the ball in his hands? Yes, he's still a good defender. He's not as great as he used to be. That's the one thing that's been annoying. There have been times on D where I'm like, dude, you and LeBron need to step it up. It's getting old. It's getting old watching. And then LeBron watching somebody run by him for an open layup and turning around and yelling at another player irritates me more than anything in the world. Take a step, dude. One step. Don't be irritated the guy got by or somebody's not guarding him. Take one step over and get in front of him. I hate that more than anything. I love, I like LeBron. I love him, but he's getting old.
I think being in help and defensive rotations are so much more important in the NBA because the offensive players are so good. It almost doesn't matter how good you are as a defender. A great offensive player is going to go by you and score. And so you have to get,
because you can't touch them. You cannot touch them.
Right. Yeah. So I keep waiting for them. It's still early enough, but I'm
telling you, after the All-Star break, give me till the All-Star break. The first 2 weeks after the All-Star, I'm gonna write it down right now on a page that I'll never come back to again in my notebook. I guarantee I will never come back
a few pages.
Yeah, let's flip ahead. I am. That's what I'm gonna do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 weeks from now. All right, 5 weeks from now. Lakers post All-Star weekend. And I'm just going to put a question mark. And I bet you, I'm willing to bet that they go on some kind of 8 out of 10 run after the All-Star break and get themselves right back into the middle of that West. They're not going to get to the top of the West, but they can get themselves back into the middle of the West. Yeah.
Yep. I don't doubt that. When you have that much talent and that much experience on your team, there's just no way they won't. If they do, then maybe you start legitimately talking about however it goes is kind of the LeBron magic, having such an impact on every team, making every team good, no matter who else is on it. Is he far enough along in his career that maybe that's not going to happen every year anymore? Or is Westbrook actually the problem or a big part of the problem? Is Anthony Davis? Because Charles Barkley said
this team is Anthony Davis's team, and he's not playing right now. The dude has not played very much.
Yeah.
What did Charles say?
I think Charles and Shaq both have kind of called Anthony Davis out and said, "Look, you have to step up. You are the guy that needs to be playing the best right now." And so that they've both kind of taken him to task a little bit. So
100% true that he is a top 10 player in this league. Mm-hmm. And just because LeBron's on your team doesn't mean you can't still be a top 10 player in the league. Dwayne Wade proved it. Dwayne Wade was still a top 10 player in the league with LeBron on his team. You can do it. LeBron wants to give Anthony Davis this team. He said it multiple times. He wants Anthony Davis to be the best player on this team. Mm-hmm. But AD can and will be. But he's going to have to do something a little different. We can't have AD from the Pelicans those last couple of years where he only plays a half of a season.
Yeah.
You got to get out on. You got to get on court. He can't turn into Kristaps Porzingis. That's my biggest fear. That's my biggest fear with AD.
Yeah, and I don't think his skills have declined or anything like that. I don't think he's old enough to be going through that. I mean, it's
not even a
times for everybody, but yeah, he should be. He's got to get back to being a dominant player. And like you said, LeBron has said he will give up some. I think that's probably why LeBron's numbers have been so good the last week or two, is because he's like, okay, if he's not giving me the Anthony Davis I expected, I'm going to have to step up, and we can't count on Russell Westbrook shooting 3-pointers. And I have to score so that he doesn't shoot them, because that's what everybody's problem is when Russ shoots.
That's what I'm talking about when I say wait till the second half. Russ needs to find his spot, right? Russ is shooting more threes than he needs to. And I think Russ knows that. He knows that he shouldn't be. But when you're getting catch and shoot wide open threes in the NBA, you take that, right? Russ is a good enough player that he's going to take the open shot when it's there. And if he's coming off a screen and LeBron's doing something and kicks it out and he's open at the three, he's going to catch and shoot that three, whether it's a high percentage shot for him or not. That's the right basketball shot in the moment, depending on who you are. I mean, not Ben Simmons, obviously. He would stare at it for 37 seconds and then try to get rid of it. But sorry, that's mean. Dude, Ben Simmons is a good basketball player. He's accurate. But Russ is going to figure out that they're going to figure out how to use Russ correctly, right? They're going to figure out exactly where to put him in, how to keep the ball in his hands in the right moments and get him into. Russ could be on this team and easily with LeBron and AD on this team. Russ should have 15 to 20 assists every night. There's no reason he couldn't do it.
Russ has won the assist title like 4 or 5 times. In all those years that he averaged a triple-double, he was the assist leader in the NBA. And even with Chris Paul, reason he's still in his prime and that kind of stuff. Yeah, he should, if he just concentrates on facilitating, and you don't need to shoot from the outside at all on this team. You don't need to do that. And going back to your point about him taking wide open shots, one of my favorite funny quotes or favorite phrases in basketball: "Open for a reason." Russ open for a reason 100%. Because he can't shoot it.
Yes. Dude, we've got a kid on Xavier. We've got 2 kids on Xavier. They're big, tall kids, right? Jack Nungy and Zach Fremantle. They can both shoot the three. They can shoot. They're 30% 3-point shooters. 27 to 30% is where they're at, right? It's not they're terrible, but they're not good. But they're open all the time. And sometimes a team will let us live and die by that. And Fremantle will go 2 for 12. And you go, dude, there, but then Freeman will have a game where he goes 4 for 4 from 3, but he only takes 4 off. Mm-hmm. But there's, like you said, open for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And every time Russ is
say us. I just totally said us. I just said us. Oh my gosh. That is what so many people can't stand about fans of teams. I never played for Xavier. I didn't even say Xavier one time in that entire thing. Nobody listening to this has any idea who Jack Nungy even plays for anymore.
I think you said Xavier
or Iowa.
I think you said Xavier.
I thought I said we have a guy. I thought I said we. I don't care. It is we, dude. That's my team, dude. I've been with that team since I was born.
Yep.
I've been with that team since I was born. So
you have some good teams that you know.
I have some good teams that I know. Yes, I do.
Xavier being one of them. All right. We should move on. We got to move into we're jumping back.
We said we were going to go through this quick.
Should we do NFL picks now, or you want to do Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
NFL picks now.
No, we'll do NFL. Let's do NFL picks.
Good call. All right. So the last time we were together was week 14.
It's week 16.
It's week 17 now. So we missed 15 and 16.
I apologize.
So there's no apology necessary for that, because we left week 14 5 games apart. So we have week 17 and there's now a week 18 in the NFL. So it's possible that I could still come back and actually technically I could still win. If I go 3-0 the next 2 weeks and you go 0-3 the next 2 weeks, impossible.
Now I feel really bad because I'm the one that canceled the last 2 weeks. We could have done this podcast last week. I just wasn't ready.
Nope.
And I
wasn't ready either. I wasn't going to do it either.
All right, whatever. So tell me what happened. What happened in week 14?
Week 14, I actually had an okay. So the week before that, we both went 3-0. Yeah, slime belly gutter snap. I went 3-0, and then of course you had to match me. 2-1. I went 2-1 in week 14, and you went 1-2. I won a week. Chris.
Wow.
And that
Good
brings
for
me
you, Schmidt.
to within 5 games, which is why not impossible for me to come back and either tie or win this thing. But
Okay.
I'm going to have to go nearly
Here's the
perfect,
deal, bro.
and you're going to have
Here's
to
the
not
deal.
win.
I'm letting you go first.
Week 17.
No. Or should I go? No, I should go first to make sure you have a chance, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Or no, you've already got your picks. Do you already have your picks?
I do already have my picks.
All right, well, then you go. No, then you go.
And I'll just go with them.
I'm not picking what you pick.
No,
you
can
go.
pick the same ones, though. You pick whatever you like.
No, I'm not doing, dude. I'm not doing that. That's the listen. I'm too competitive. How did it go? What was
yeah,
it?
if you're competitive, you're just going to want to win, and you're going to pick the same ones.
No, Ted Williams. The year he hit 400, last year he hit 400. I think he hit 400 twice. I don't remember. Whatever it was, his manager was going to take him out. He got a hit in the first inning, and his manager was going to take him out to make sure he hit. He was like hitting 401. And Ted Williams looked at him and said, "Are you kidding me? That's not the way I'm like, no, don't tell him I'm not coming out of this game. I'm hitting. Like, keep me in it." He still hit. I think he ended up hitting 402 because he had two more hits in the game. So I am not messing around. I'm not going to take the easy road and just pick the same teams and make it easy. I'm going to let you go first. Pick your teams that you feel the best about, and I will pick 3 opposite teams of what you take. Because I'm in this. I'm not taking the easy road, brother. We ain't taking the easy road. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right.
Well, you want to win. I mean, okay. You're
but I could easily win right now just by taking the exact same teams as you. Right. What I'm telling you is I ain't taking the easy road, bro. We're betting. I've done it all year. We're gonna keep it going.
You have such a comfortable lead that it's not gonna matter. You can take you can take games you don't even want, and you're still gonna get it. All right. I will start with Cleveland is a 3-point favorite at Pittsburgh. All right. I'm glad to tell you that neither team is great this year. Neither team's horrible, I don't think, but neither team is great, which is a good thing for the Bengals. But Cleveland is a 3-point favorite in Pittsburgh, which I don't know how many times that's happened. Probably very rare. I'm going to take Pittsburgh, the home team there.
That. That's a good – hey, Schmidt, that's a good pick.
Thank you. Hey, Denver is at the LA Chargers, and the Chargers are a 6.5-point favorite at home. I'm going to go ahead and take Denver in that one. And then give me Atlanta at Buffalo. Buffalo is certainly going to win this game, but they're a 14.5-point favorite right now. Atlanta has not been as bad as I thought they were going to be, like Lions bad. I thought they were going to be Detroit.
Well, they started off like 0-3.
Yeah.
They started off like 0-3. They're terrible.
They were bad to start the year. But they bounced back a little bit, and they've won some games. I think they've
7-8. Yeah, they're 7-8.
Yeah. I didn't expect them to win some of these games. So I am taking Atlanta to lose, but not by 14.5, not by 15.
Is this the first week? Can we officially put this down as the very first time ever in the history of us picking games? So what, 3 years now? Is it 2 years? Is this our second year picking games, or is this our third?
It's got to be 3, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah. So if this is our third year picking games, I don't think you've ever picked 3 underdogs in the same week.
You might be right.
I
don't know.
I think I would remember that. You are a huge favorite go-getter, brother. That's why you struggle with this.
Yeah.
I'm not to say a bad thing, but that's the big thing. People see who's going to win, and their eyes automatically go to the automatic winning team. That's why Vegas does so good in this, because you see Cowboys minus 5.5. Oh yeah, the Cowboys got them. The Cowboys are beating the Cardinals. Yeah, we're good. Oh, 5.5 though, right? You know, that's the secondary thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, good on you, boy. You're getting better, dude. You're learning. You're learning.
Well, we'll see. I've had a couple of good weeks in a row, but we'll see. It might come to a screeching halt now.
So I liked every one of your picks. So that's good for you. I don't know if that's good for you. I mean, I'm 5 games over you, which doesn't mean much, but that's still good for you. So Schmidt, my question for you is, what is your total record for the year?
It is 21-21.
Wow. And what am I?
You are 26-16.
26-16. So you have not lost any money this year. You have not won any money this year. Good for you.
Yes, but I'm about to lose. I'm about to lose
That's
100
a
push-ups.
that's a scary thing for me because you are on a hot streak and I am rolling on a slow streak. So I do want to preface this that this is Wednesday night before the games. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at the spreads on Wednesday night. Let's start off. This is off the ESPN app, which is usually pretty accurate. So can I first say that the Chiefs -5 in Cincinnati, dude, how awesome is that? That the Chiefs, the high-scoring Chiefs, are in Cincinnati this week and are a 5-point favorite. That game over the last 3 years would be a 14 or 15-point game.
Easy.
And it's 5 points. That is basically, if they played at a neutral site, that is Kansas City -2. That is insane. I love every bit of that. And before I get too deep into my picks, I would like to know, have you reached out to Andre Edwards? The season is over, not after this week, but the week after. Have you reached out to Andre to see if he's ready, what week he's ready to come on board? And because we have a bet with Andre too.
Mm-hmm.
All three of us, whoever did the worst at picking the Bengals end of year record, has to sing a cappella on the podcast, which from experience sucks. I feel like I'm a much better singer than I did. I feel like I'm a much better singer than I was that day on the podcast. I got a little too into it and I lost myself and started screaming instead of actually singing. I feel like when I if I'd had a little water, I feel like I actually would do much better if I just would have been a little easy with it.
You know, I've been thinking about that for a while because my pick was so bad that's been over. That bet's been over for three or 4 weeks now.
What did you think the Bengals were going to be? That basically, this is what I was getting to. What did you think the Bengals were? What was your pick for the Bengals this year?
I had them at 3-14.
3-14. Do you by chance remember what me and Andre had?
I have it. Might be able to pull that up quick. Oh,
I'm pretty sure I had 9 wins. I'm pretty sure that I had them at 9 wins, and after 17 weeks, I'd be 9-8. I'm pretty sure I had them with a winning record of 9-8, and I think Andre had them at 8-9.
He was either 7 or 8. He was right under you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, real quick, can we all just be happy that the Bengals are where they are right now? Because Cincinnati fans are going to be upset if they lose this game. Cincinnati fans are going to be upset if they lose a playoff game, and all this stuff could easily happen. Mm-hmm. But we had people that honestly thought the Bengals would be 3-14 this year.
Those people are dumb.
So I'm just happy to see. I'm just so happy to see 9-6 next to their name.
I am too. I'm happy to be wrong about that, but I'm not happy to sing.
So do you know what song you're singing? Do you know what song you're singing yet?
I have several in my mind that I'm thinking about. I have not picked one specific.
Are we going Lionel Richie? I know you're a big Lionel Richie guy. I just automatically think that. Is that one of the ones you're thinking? What are you thinking right now?
You're right about me being a big Lionel Richie guy. I was not thinking about a Lionel Richie song though.
All right. Well, we'll just leave it as I want it to be a surprise for the day it happens. So, all right. So here we go. So Patriots, Jaguars, right? This is 15 points. There's no chance. 9-6 Colts versus the Raiders, 8-7. There's no spread on this. Is an even game in Indianapolis. I like this game. This is going to be a good game. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know what it is. I picked the Raiders in this deal quite a few times. I wasn't sure what I thought about them early on. They played a tough game this past week against the Broncos. I believe it was 17-13. It was a low scoring game, which tells me that they can go in against this Colts team with Wentz and do something. So I don't know why I continue to like the Raiders, but it's something about Derek Carr that I really like. And with no spread, I'm going to take the Raiders to win that game in Indianapolis, which might be as dumb a thing as I've done in a long time, but still going to take it. Philly's 3-point favorite in Washington. I'm going to take Washington in this game. I don't know what it is. Eagles fans, we all know what it's like to be an Eagles fan. It's almost like being a Jets fan, but the Eagles are just better and just seem to lose at the wrong time. So I'm taking Washington in that game. I don't know what it is about that game that draws me to it. I love the Eagles, but I'm taking Washington plus 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, that's my home dog that I'm going to take, and then let's see. Last but not least, let's jump on the. Tell her we said hi. Let's jump on the. Man, I'll tell you what, dude. You know what? Here's what we're doing: 2-12, 2-12-1 Lions. I've won a lot of money this year on the Lions. The Detroit Lions I'm pretty sure that they're better than 500 against the spread this year. They've lost a lot of close games. Seattle is a 6.5-point favorite at home. I'm taking the Lions. Lions plus 6.5. Man, I'm letting you right back into this thing, brother. I just put you picked 3 great games. I took 3 games I don't feel.
Did you well, you're a sweetheart for letting me oh, you froze.
Comfortable with. That's all right. Can you at least hear me?
I can hear you, and you're back. All right. So Detroit was at Seattle. Is that what that was?
Yeah, 6.5 point spread in Seattle.
Got it.
So Detroit is getting 6.5 in Seattle.
Got it. All right.
I just let you back into it. I want this to come down to week 18. I want this to come down to week 18.
I don't think it's going to, but maybe that'll be exciting. That'd be exciting.
It will be.
But we just talked about singing, and I'm going to have to do that in a few weeks probably. But and I will get a hold of Andre and figure out.
There's
I don't know if we'll
probably.
Have him.
There's no probably. You are singing. It's over.
No, I know,
Singing.
but I don't know if we'll have him on the week after the end of the regular season or wait and see what they do in the playoffs, just so we can get him on and talk about our, the Bengals. Like I have a Bengals review, and then whenever they get done, maybe it'll be in January or February or something like that. If the Bengals keep winning. All right. Yeah. Cause I looked at that Bengals game and I was like, you know what? I can't pick against the Bengals anymore this year. I just can't do it.
Nope. Good for you for not. That's going to be a good game. I'm excited about that game. The Bengals offensive line is terrible, has been terrible all year. However, they have actually mixed things up to where the play action is working. Joe Mixon is carrying the ball, looking good. And the problem right now is the Kansas City defense hasn't been phenomenal, and that's what carried them the last. I mean, you've got a guy like Patrick Mahomes who does this thing, but that defense was good, really good. So offensive line not so good. It's kind of taken back by the fact that the defense hasn't been so good on Kansas City. You're going to get to see Joe Burrow versus Patrick Mahomes. You're going to get to see a ton of incredible offensive weapons in that game. There are so many offensive weapons on both sides of the ball. I hope this is a 56-42 game.
That would be fun.
It would be.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, speaking of singing,
we have our Mount Rushmore is Christmas songs. All right. We're only a few days past Christmas. People, they're the radio stations that have been playing Christmas music for 2 months now. Still playing it. Okay. So it's not over.
Still playing it. Just
holidays
listen to it today.
Over.
Yep. Yep.
And so we're picking our top four favorite Christmas songs. So I'll let you go first.
Really? Okay. Here we go. I got to tell you, oh man, my all-time favorite Christmas song by far. I don't know if you would ever guess it. but is Miss Mariah Carey. All I want for Christmas is you. That is, I don't know what it is about that. I don't know if it's her voice or what it is. I love that song.
Yeah.
So Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas.
I heard that she makes like $1 million in the month of December every year because that song is so popular. Yep.
There's just one thing I need underneath the Christmas tree.
Beautiful.
I'm telling you, yeah. What is wrong with you? We're gonna go with All You Want for Christmas Is You. I'm gonna go with Jingle Bells, classic. Can't go wrong with Jingle Bells, mostly for the off songs that come with it. You know, you've got Batman Smells.
Sure.
Dude, Parker, hey, we're doing a podcast.
I couldn't hear him very well there. If he's gonna sing it, he's got to get it in the mic.
Yeah, hey, if you're gonna sing, Adam said if you're gonna sing it, you got to sing it loud. Sing it.
No.
That's what I thought. All right, so we've got Jingle Bells. You can tell when I get away from the mic and it becomes an echo. I apologize. Jingle Bells, Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas. You know, there's a lot from here, and there are so many Christmas songs. But number 3 is going to be Frosty the Snowman. It's simple. It's old school. It's what I love. And then, what'd you say? Old school. Yep, just like your dad. And then there's so many more. So there is one song, and I didn't write it down, but I was in the car today, and it came on the radio. And I need to see exactly what it's called before I say it. But I didn't have it written down at first. And I want to put it on here, but I don't know exactly what it's called. So let me scroll through this real quick, and I'll tell you what it is.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Oh, no, that's a good one. This is it right here. All right, I got it. Ready? This is so this is on number 4. And once again, not something you would expect, probably not something you were thinking. But when this song came on, dude, I started jamming out in the car, and I was like, holy cow, this is one of my favorite Christmas songs. And it might be because it is by far my wife's favorite Christmas song, probably. I don't know that for sure, but more than likely, this album plays in my house consistently during Christmas. In fact, what Aaron usually says in the house when she's ready for Christmas music is Alexa, play NSYNC Christmas. NSYNC Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy. That is, holy cow. I told Alexa to play Christmas music, and the Alexa down here in the basement just started singing, just started playing Christmas carols.
Stop.
Go, Parker, will you do me a favor and go into the other room and go tell Alexa to stop? Hit pause.
Why do you have to do it?
Because you're not doing a podcast. All right. Season of all. All right. So those are my 4.
I'll tell you, Chris, we almost always have at least one common thing in these.
We don't have anything the same.
We don't have one. We don't have one.
I love it. Then this was a good one on you.
Thank you.
Crack my finger.
Number 1, I'm putting Let It Snow by Boyz II Men. Let It Snow. Beautiful, beautiful song. Number 2, Silent Night, specifically by the Temptations. The Temptations do an amazing version of Silent Night. It's so good.
Wow.
You got to look it up. It's just super soulful and everything. You're going to like this one. Tennessee Christmas by Amy Grant.
Dude, Amy Grant's got a heck of a Christmas album. My mom used to listen to that all the time.
I grew up the biggest thing, that the Amy Grant and the Carpenters Christmas albums we listen to every
Yes.
single year, a ton.
It must have been a root thing. It must have been something with the moms. They must have all got together and said, look, we love Amy Grant. We're doing Amy Grant Christmas from like 1994 or whenever it came out.
Probably earlier than that, yeah.
It probably was.
So Tennessee Christmas is so good. And then last, I'm putting Last Christmas by Wham. Last Christmas.
Is that the song? Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
That's it.
The very next day, you gave it away.
George Michael.
This year. Sorry.
No,
that's a good song.
I love that song.
Dude.
George Michael. And just like everybody else, I don't know the other guy's name in Wham. I can't remember. I just watched a documentary about George Michael a few weeks ago, and I still don't remember the guy's name. Anyway, that Wham, that's such a good song. And so those are my four: Boys to Men, Let It Snow, Temptation, Silent Night, Amy Grant, Tennessee Christmas, and Wham's Last Christmas.
Well done. I feel like those are all good. I feel like those are all good ones. I kind of went Jingle Bells and Frosty. I probably could have done better with, but
you can't go wrong with the tradition.
I love Frosty the Snowman. I love Frosty. I love Jingle Bells. I love I just love them.
Frosty, especially if you're watching the old, like whatever it is, claymation or whatever, the old one.
Yeah, it's not claymation. That's all animated. Yeah, the claymation ones. So we've talked about favorite Christmas movies before. We did this last year, I believe, and claymation is like all my favorite. So Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, claymation. There's a lot, but the best one, and right now I can't even tell you what it's called, but it's the one with Meister Burger.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I never got into that one for some reason.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Watch it every year. Our family, so people talk about family traditions on Christmas, right? Like, what's your family tradition? We roast chestnuts on an open fire. I don't know anybody that does that, but
no.
We've been married now for 2009 was that 12 years. Is that right? 12 years? Yeah, 12 years. We've been married for 12 years. So we've had 12 Christmases together. Uh-huh. And I'm going to tell you that our Christmas tradition is just watching a Christmas movie every single night, sometimes 2 or 3. We are a Christmas movie family. Am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. He's laughing like crazy over there. That is what we do. And I had somebody tell me yesterday, it was my sister. I was talking about how, I'm watching this movie. And she was like, my boys don't watch Christmas movies with me anymore. One's a year older than Parker. One's like 6-8 months younger than Parker. I was like, what? No, that's our Christmas tradition. My boy will be watching Prep and Landing, the Disney cartoon.
I kind of like Prep and Landing.
He likes Prep and Landing.
I kind of do.
Anyway, they will be watching that with me until they're 37 years old or older.
No.
Whenever they move out of my house.
For their sake, hopefully it's before 37. But
well.
No. It's fun, and not just movies, but some of my favorite TV shows. I like to go back and watch the Christmas show. Any of them that have Christmas specials or whatever. The other day there was a marathon of all of The Office Christmas. I know it's hacked to like Office now, but yeah, I saw every one of them from every season. I think. I think there was only
Can
one.
I say?
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. There's only one. What?
I was gonna say, I think there was only one Christmas episode of the Andy Griffith Show, and I watched that. Anyway, go ahead.
Nice. I am gonna say this, and don't at me or whatever they call it these days on Twitter or whatever, but The Office is totally a show that I feel like I should have seen every episode of. I think I've seen 4 episodes of The Office.
Yeah, I have shows like that too.
And like what?
I get it.
I totally put you on the spot.
No. The one we've talked about this before. The one about the science guys. Oh my God.
Oh, you've never Big Bang, dude. Big Bang
Big
was
Bang.
great.
Big Bang.
Was great.
Big Bang. I only have not watched very many episodes because I think it was bad. I didn't like it. I've
Oh,
watched
see, I
4 or 5
like The
episodes.
Office. I just haven't watched much of it.
Yeah.
Dude, Big Bang was great. What's her
There are
name?
more movies
Not
like
Not
that I
Mia
haven't seen.
Kunis. What's her name? Not
Kaylee
Mia
Cuoco.
Kunis. Kaylee
Kaylee
Cuoco.
Cuoco.
Yeah, she was on the Bert Kreischer deal.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
so funny.
On the cabin. Yeah.
It's the greatest episode ever of The Cabin. Please, if you are watching this, because we're about to get into our next segment, which is the comedy special. Did we not do The Cabin as a comedy? Didn't we do that as our comedy special once?
You know what? I think we both
God.
just ended up watching it just on our own, and I think we ended up talking about it on here.
We were just talking about it. Oh my gosh. The best episode is the Quelly Coco. Quelly, whatever her name is. Coco, Quoco, Quaco. That episode with her and Miss
Pat. Miss
Pat.
So funny.
And the guy from Talk Soup.
Joel McHale. Yep. Man, that was so
Bill
fun.
McHale and Miss Pat never met each other. He comes out and she calls him Justin Bieber and he calls her Precious. And I never laughed harder, and they don't know each other. I've never laughed harder in my entire life.
That's how you know they are true comedians, because they can just trash on each other as soon as they meet.
And they don't care. They don't care. And it doesn't hurt their feelings or anything like that. Right. Oh my gosh. So funny. All right. That brings us into our comedy segment.
Good segue. Yeah.
So Adam picked Lance Woods Undeniable 3 weeks ago, because 2 weeks ago I didn't watch it, or maybe it was 4 weeks ago. Who knows how long we were supposed to watch this thing? Either way, I watched it yesterday. I still put it off. It's been a rough month. I haven't done much, but I will tell you, I finally did watch it. I've got a number written down, and you know what? I went first on Mount Rushmore. I'll let you go first with Lance Woods. Undeniable.
It was my pick, and I didn't know Lance Woods. So I was hoping, and we've had some success with some of those, and we've had a few of them that haven't been great.
We've had more success than not success. Like the people we don't know, and we've talked about this before. It's because these comedians, they put together years and years of material into the best special they can get a special, put it out. Their first one is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then they kind of sometimes can go downhill from there, depending on who they are.
And it's funny you say that, because I feel like lately we've had a few that we kind of felt like, or at least I felt like, just weren't quite ready. Either they needed more time to develop the jokes a little bit more, or they just weren't ready for a special. They're just not good enough comedians, period, yet. And I felt like this was another 100%. One of those, Chris. I felt like this was another instance of that. He said a few things, had a few ideas that weren't bad, that, that made me smile, maybe a light chuckle, something like that, but nothing great. A lot of low-hanging fruit stuff, a lot of kind of predictable stuff. He needs to take some left turns when you think he's going to take some rights. He's got to switch some things up and get some different punchlines, I think, because I kind of felt some of that stuff coming, or at least it just didn't surprise me, some of the stuff. And I'm like, okay, I've heard that kind of thing before. I've heard that premise and punchline kind of similar thing. And it just didn't blow me away. It didn't. I wrote a couple things down. He was talking about going to the white Thanksgiving, the white people Thanksgiving. Some of that was kind of funny.
That was that's the first thing I have written down, and I got something to say about that.
He said they eat at 11 a.m. That's hilarious. Because for some reason
true.
I know I've always had that problem. Like, why are we eating at 2 p.m? This is dinner. What are you doing?
Yes. Yeah, it's not quite. So once again, well done on pushing it a little further than it needs to be, but because nobody eats at 11. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do, but not at 11. But yeah, like dinner's at 2, and it's like, what? Now I get it because some families got to move, right? But that's funny. They got to go to many different places. That was good. I like that. There's one part of that I've got a question about that I'm going to ask when it's my turn.
Okay. And the only other thing I wrote down was, and I can't even remember. It was, I watched it a while ago, so I can't remember the whole joke, but I wrote down crackhead selling a bunk bed ladder.
I don't even have a bunk bed. What do I need it for? The best. I don't do Black Friday. I do Crackhead Friday shopping. Crackheads always got the best deals. Crackheads are the best salesmen. That was funny. He grew up. This dude grew up. So you're done. Go ahead. This dude grew up with. He said, tough house, blah blah blah. He doesn't drink. He's a lot like Adam. And all his buddies do the same thing. I'm sure they do to you. No, seriously, man. Here, just try this.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you, because people tell me that too. Like like people will say, well, yeah, I drank or I got drunk because like my friends just kept buying me shots and putting them in front of me. I can't tell you how many times I was hanging out at the bar with our cousin, and he is Mr. Good Time, and he wants everybody to have a good time and love each other and be friendly and just have fun. And so I can't tell you how many times I was at the bar with that guy and he bought me drinks and shots and put them in front of me. I passed it right down to somebody else. I just said, you know what? You bought that. I wasn't going to drink it. You have
That's
to
on
drink it.
you.
You have to give it to somebody else. It's your fault if you waste your money on that stuff. So anyway,
that's on you. Best day of my life. But one of the best nights of my life was at Long Shots, a random, I don't even know. It was just a random day. There was like no one in that place except me, you, and Bobby. And I've told the story on a podcast. It's been years ago, probably when we told the story, but sit down and me and Bobby go to Long Shots. We're at Long Shots.
By the way, Long Shots is walking distance from both where I was living and where Bobby was living. So I think we all walked. We all walked there, right?
It was even closer to where you
right across the street.
We're living. You literally lived catty corner to it,
right
on the corner. So we call Adam up. Adam comes over, and Adam sits down. It was the greatest line of my life. He sits down and he says, "I'll have a captain and diet. Hold the captain." And me and Bobby, I've never laughed harder than my entire life at that. That was so funny. And we had one of the best nights ever that night. It was so good. I never laughed so hard as I did probably that night.
We did have fun there.
But anyway, so I can understand where you come from with all that. This dude says he's never had a drink, never smoked anything. Good for him. Good for him. There's nothing wrong with having a drink. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm not going to hold it against you, right? So it's not like I'm going to be like, Adam doesn't drink. Well, I do remember one time he had a Captain and Coke.
I have an occasional drink. No, I have an occasional drink every couple of years or something.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the point of the story was to say a little bit like you, good for him. Reminded me of Brandon Phillips. Do you remember Brandon Phillips when the Reds won the NL Central and celebrated? And he said the very first taste of alcohol that ever touched his lips was the NL Central champagne that he drank when they won the Central. He said this is the first time there's ever been alcohol that has touched my lips.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty cool, man. I was like, man, good for you. When I was 13, I had more alcohol than you ever had in your life.
I do remember that. That's funny. By the way, 2.5 for me. You go ahead. And finish.
All right. So
I should have saved that. I should have just waited.
Like I said, no, I was going to let you know. I was just about to tell you to do it because you always do it right before we do it at the end of the thing. I was just about to tell you my is because my sigh is because I was going to say 2.9, but I gave him a 3.2.
Oh,
okay. And it was because I was in a bad place and I didn't feel like I gave it its due when I was watching it. Not a bad place, not like I'm, about to do something silly, but I was just not, my mind wasn't where it normally is when I'm watching comedy.
Sure.
And I didn't give it my full 100%. I paused it about 7 or 8 times, moving around with kids. I've been home for a week and a half now, which is not normal for me. and trying to watch it without them watching it. I just got one thing. The interracial stuff always makes me laugh. Like a lot of that stuff is it's funny to me. He's talking about the wigs, and then he's talking about the hair, the white girl hair, if you're with a white girl, and just everywhere, like literally I just wake up or I'll be walking down the street and be like, what the hell? I'll scratch my head and like a piece of Aaron's hair will come out. Like, where did that piece of hair come from? I was like, that's legit. And then he's joking around about at least black girls got the decency to take their hair off before they go to bed, which was cracking me up even more. Talking about the guy he called the girl he called the cops on, because he's even there, got the same voice as her. That was funny. But here's my question for you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I love Wildin' Out. Wildin' Out, Nick Cannon Wildin' Out. It's one of my favorite things. I watch it almost every week. I've seen almost every episode. I love that show. And this comes up on this show all the time. You got white guys, you got black guys, white girls, black girls, blah, 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 blah. And somehow on that show, there's always something talking about picnics, cookouts, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I understand the mayo thing, right? Like, white people, we love our mayo. I'm the king of that, right? Like I put mayo on everything. I don't understand the raisins and everything. I don't put raisins in anything. My family puts raisins. Like I've never met somebody that puts raisins in anything. And on Wild 'N Out, they talk about it all the time. Why do you guys put raisins in everything? We don't. Why do you guys put? It was on this. Well, you guys be surprised. I'm not. We eat all the same things. You're right. We do eat all the same things. And no, I don't think sweet potato pie tastes like pumpkin pie, because it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. I understand they both got a ton of cinnamon on them in it and all that, but they don't taste the same. I don't like either.
Same.
Personally,
I don't like either.
Personally, I don't like either. If it ain't chocolate pie, I don't want to eat it.
Exactly.
Right? Like I ain't eating it. I ain't eating apple pie. I ain't eating key lime pie. I ain't eating strawberry, cherry, whatever you got. I ain't eating it. It just is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you right now, sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie don't taste the same. Number one. Number two, I don't understand the raisin thing. Who puts raisins in stuff? Raisins are nasty. I don't know. I have been to girlfriends for years, different girlfriends growing up in high school, whatever, and gone to their Thanksgivings. I have been to in-laws Thanksgivings. I've been to I've never had anything that had raisins in anything. We don't put raisins in potato salad. We don't put raisins in fruit salad, which is where it actually it would belong in fruit salad, but we don't even put it in that. I don't put it in nothing. It's not in anything. There's no raisin. If there's raisins in anything, it's a cookie, and I'm not eating it. I don't understand. Like that joke comes up all the time. And I love white people, black people jokes, right? I love that. I think they're hilarious. They make me laugh because, listen, you call it a stereotype, call what you want, but every once in a while you hear it and you're like, oh no, that's for real. Like, that's legit. Like, there's a little bit of truth in there, right? Like, that's what's funny about it. I love it. I don't get the raisin thing. I was so hooked on that damn raisin thing. I was so hooked on that when it happened. I even talked to my wife. I paused it and I'm like, I don't understand the raisin thing.
I'm 100% with you.
You'll never find raisins.
That's the second time I've heard it this month too. I heard somebody else say that too, and I'm like, I've had the same experience you've had. I don't know about. I have raisins and I buy these little packages of trail mix. There are raisins in that. That's the only time I eat raisins. I don't want raisins in my cookies. I don't want raisins in my cinnamon bagel. I don't want raisins in anything. I don't know.
Here's the deal.
Right. There is some sort of stereotype
I love trail mix
with raisins.
Yeah. I love trail mix, but every bag of trail mix you ever see me eat, I can hand you the bag and it'll be filled with raisins. The nastiest. Who wants an old shriveled grape? That's disgusting. I don't want something that's gone bad. I don't want something that's gone bad. I don't want it. I don't want a raisin. Hated raisins since I was a kid. They taste disgusting. They're horrible. They're gross. You can put yogurt around them and give them to little kids. I don't want those either. I think those are disgusting. I don't understand the raisin thing. And I don't know why we as a race get put into this raisin thing.
I don't know. I'll have to.
So that is the one thing that I came off of this. He did have he had some funny things. I laughed. I don't know that I ever really gave it its due, but with you giving him a 2.5, I feel like maybe that 2.9 I wrote down originally was probably right. I'm still going to say 3.2 just because I usually give people a little bit more laughs. I usually laugh a little harder than I should. But that was the one thing that stuck with me, dude. I don't get that. I don't get it.
I agree. No idea where that came from.
It's constantly on Wildin' Out. I'm looking at my phone because I watched the episodes of Wildin' Out on my phone. I love that show. Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out has been on for 15 years for a reason, right? Like, it's funny. And they do an unbelievable job. But they always, every time there's a black dude there and he's up against a white girl, it's always, why do your people put raisins in everything and potato salad? We don't. Nobody puts raisins in nothing. You ain't never been anywhere. Nobody that's ever said that joke has ever been anywhere where there was a raisin in anything. It's just a stereotype that they just go by.
Maybe it's like a coastal thing or something. Maybe people do that on the West Coast or the East Coast or something. I don't know, because I agree. I don't know what the raisin
gross.
Is.
I don't understand the raisin thing. That's my thing. That's my thing. And from now on, that's my new thing, right? So that's gonna be my new question. That's my new question. I just am gonna start asking everybody I know, do you have raisins in anything you eat? I don't care if you're white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, Mexican. I don't care who you are. If I know you, I'm going to start asking you, when you guys cook something, is there anything y'all put raisins in? And they'll probably just say cookies, and that'll be it. And I hate raisins and cookies. I hate nuts and cookies. I hate nuts and brownies. I don't understand why people do all these weird things. I agree. That's weird. But I'm tired. I don't want somebody to walk down the street that I've never met in my life, look at me and go, I bet that dude puts raisins in his potato salad. Guess what? No, I don't. That's disgusting.
we gotta start disproving this stereotype.
Yeah. I don't know who I need to talk to. I don't know if I need to go to, I don't know who I need to go to. Obama? I don't know. Who do I need to talk to get this thing changed? I don't know.
I don't know, but that's hilarious. And we were really pretty close, because my scale is 0 to 5 and yours is 1 to 5. So we were right in the middle. We were both pretty much right in the middle of our scale.
So technically we're in the middle. And that's the thing, is he was good. When he walked out, that once again though, one of the things, when he walked out and everybody's clapping, he's like, that's all right, keep going. I deserve this. Man, I can't stand that. Tell everybody to sit down and start telling your jokes.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out, I was like, okay, he's got to be joking about that. But then I was kind of like, or maybe was it?
And then when you listen to him, you're like, no, he thinks he deserved it. Which is, good for him. He wasn't bad. I mean, I would say he was, like, if we were at a comedy show, just a random, I wouldn't know this. I'll ask you. For a guy who's been to New York, who's been to LA, who's done the comedy show thing, if this dude was at just a random comedy club, he would be one of the last guys to go, right? He was good enough to be there, good enough to be towards the end. It wasn't like he was it wasn't like his timing was terrible or anything like that.
Yeah, in those like showcases that they do, like at the Cellar, they have 10, 12 people or whatever a night going on during a show, and they don't even really have like, it's not really like stacked like best to worst or worst to best or anything like that, because when I was at the Comedy Cellar, David Telt was last every night he was there, I think, but And actually that's usually how it goes. Like the headliner is usually last anyway, but
His last. That's
there
what
are,
I'm saying by that.
but there
Yeah.
are good, but in those kind of shows, there are, good comedians like when I was at the Cellar, Chris DiStefano went on at like, he was like the second guy up or something like that. But that was like, he had a baby like 2 days before that or something. So he was like trying to get home.
I got
It
you.
just depends.
Well, it's kind of
But-
like the Joe Rogan. You hear Joe Rogan talking all the time about how he goes, he'll hit 3 comedy clubs in a night and do his act 3 times in a night. So
Yeah.
he might go on early, in the middle, and then at the end, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But in regular comedy shows, like a 1-person show, like you're going downtown to see Kevin Hart, he's going to have a middle, an opener and a middle, and then he's the headliner. So yeah, in those shows, yeah, your guys that are less experienced and that kind of thing are going to be first. And this,
Right.
Lance Woods is a guy that I'm not familiar with, and is probably a guy that would be in those kind of shows, would be opening for somebody else, or be a middle guy.
You think opening? I would say middle guy. I would say middle guy. You got a 15-minute guy, you got a 15 to 20-minute guy, and then you got an hour guy. Is usually how those things go, right? So I put him in the middle. I don't feel like he's far from being at the end. The timing with the what was the joke where he started naming a bunch of stuff and he just randomly threw, oh my gosh, I wish I could remember that joke. Anyway, he didn't pause long enough when he said the funny one. He'd be like, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, Adam Schmidt, and then would go on to the next person. And it's like, hold on, Adam Schmidt. That's the funny one. He don't belong, right?
Hold for applause, yeah.
Yeah, hold for applause right there, dude. That was good. When you start naming people quick, they have to think. So hold there, dude. That was funny. That's funny. Let it sit. Let it marinate. Do your thing. Yeah. Or slow every name down. Don't yell them out quick. Slow them down in between. So when Adam Schmidt hits, they've got time in between.
Yep, I agree with you.
I feel like we should be. I feel like one of us should be a comedian. At this point in time, we should just be writing jokes for each other. We critique comedians so much on this show, and
we're the least qualified people to do it. Yeah, least qualified.
I tell people all the time. Like I 100% can be funny with 5 people standing next to me.
Yep.
You put 20 people, bro, it changes. Like it's totally different. It's totally different.
Yep.
It's not. So what these guys do in front of, like what Lance Woods did, which was probably in front of, 400 people. It looked like a kind of a smaller comedy, not smaller, but just a regular comedy club, 400, 500 people in there. That's not easy to do. Like y'all don't like, I also want to preface it with that. Like that's not easy, much less Kevin Hart walking out on stage at a Coliseum with, 50,000 people out there. It's not easy to do what they do, but if you're going to be a pro, you better be ready for the critique, right?
Yeah. Yep. They would say though that critique from another comedian, not from some bozos that are sitting in Cincinnati.
Oh, 100% they would. But I feel like if we hung out with them, I feel like no, they probably wouldn't want to hang out with us. If they knew we did this podcast and we talked about comedy specials every week, and they're like, oh, and say we became big and we were critiquing comedy specials every week, these people would be like, I don't even want to look at that dude. No, he don't know nothing. What is he? He's a flavor technician.
Right.
He's a salesman. What does he know about comedy? Well, we are the people listening to you, right? But that's what this is. That we're just coming from the people that are listening to you, your audience. We are your audience.
Chris, I have been thinking about this for a long time, and I think we've even talked about it a little bit, but I really want to, and we're going to do it. Have a comedian on sometime. It's probably not going to be a huge guy, a huge person or anything, but just to talk comedy and not to critique, not to do anything like that. Let that person, him or her, critique if they want to, but just talk comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can talk about our favorites and their favorites and their influences and that kind of stuff. I mean, they're asked about that stuff all the time, but we do a big part of what we do every week is this comedy segment, and it's like our favorite part of the thing. So I think we've got to get a comedian on to hear their
I feel like a DeStefano. Oh, I was gonna say Kevin Hart just because he loves sports, but I'm thinking of a sports minded, because there's a ton of comedians that could care less. Like they're like, oh hey, I went to the baseball game and Joe Nuxall scored a touchdown, and it's like, oh
yeah.
okay, you know what I mean? That's a joke that comes out a lot, right? That joke happens a lot because there are a ton of comedians that aren't, have different things. So I need that comedian. If we're gonna do that, it's got to be that comedian. It's got to be a DeStefano who played basketball in a JUCO or whatever he did. Wasn't he a basketball player?
Oh, DeStefano, yes, yeah, he was a Division III basketball player at St. Joe's University. Yeah.
D3. So I don't know if that's above or below JUCO. I don't know where JUCO falls into that whole thing, but somewhere in that realm,
after D2, it's kind of all the same. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but where's JUCO fit in there? Where's junior colleges fit in?
I think that's like not even. I think like D3 NAIA, I think is all above that. I think.
So you remember when JUCO getting a junior college transfer, like that was a big thing.
Actually,
JUCOs were big. Torrey Braggs was a huge JUCO transfer that came to Xavier.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, we got this dude Torrey Braggs for 2 years, junior and senior year. It was because they played 2 years at a junior college, and then they could possibly go somewhere. And I remember I got a friend who played softball at JUCO. She was at somewhere in Tennessee, and she played 2 years. She didn't play 4. She played 2 years. It was an associate's degree, and I think she moved on to go somewhere else. She didn't play softball somewhere else, but the point is JUCO used to be the thing before the portal was here.
Yeah, I think I'm wrong about JUCO. I think it's not. Yeah, I think maybe JUCO is like everything below D1 maybe or something. I don't know.
It was I don't. Anyway, that's besides the point. That's the person we need on this podcast, though, dude. That's who we need.
We need a JUCO comedian.
A JUCO comedian. I feel like if we reached out, we don't reach out enough. We don't. Right. Me and you don't reach out enough. Every time we have reached out, it's worked.
Yeah.
No. I take that back.
Glenn Braggs did not message me back on Instagram.
Glenn Braggs did not message you back, and Mo Egger never said anything back to me either. Actually, no, he did. He did say something back to me. He told me to send him something to an email address, and he gave me an email address, and I sent him to the email, and then never heard back from him. I believe we could get a Mo Egger. I think if we really tried, we could get Mo. But I think we could we've got to get. Let's make that our 2022 New Year's resolution.
We are going to have more interview episodes on this podcast.
We've talked about this for a couple of years now. We're like 3.5 years into this. We've been doing this for a long time. And the 18 to 22 people that listen to this show, they want that. That's what they want.
I thought you were going to say that's our demographic, 18 to 22 males.
18 to 22. That is definitely not our demographic.
No, it's not.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe that's the new thing. I don't know. Maybe they like looking at dad bods on the TV.
35 to 45.
God, we're getting so old. Oh Lord.
No.
Anyway. All right. Well, that's what we got. So we got to figure out. All right. So you did the comedy and you did the Mount Rushmore last week. I have to do the comedy and Mount Rushmore this week.
Or we can take 1 and 1 if we want to get back on the.
I'm gonna go. So it's been. I don't know if it's the end of the year and everybody wants to get their COVID specials in or what, but there's been a lot. We pretty much have our comedy locked in for the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yep.
Because Netflix has got like 3 to 4 specials that just came out. In fact, there's we've never done the stand-ups. It's on Netflix. They do it every year. Most of the time it's newer people. Nikki Glazer was on it a few years back. It's a good group. The stand-up, there's a new regiment of 6 new stand-ups that are on the stand-ups on Netflix, but I'm going to go with a new special that came out here recently, and it is I'm going to say Amir. It might be Amer. I don't know.
I think it's Amr. I've heard of this guy
Amr,
before.
Mo Amr, Muhammad in Texas. We're going Muhammad in Texas, Mo Amr. Guy I've never heard of again, but jumped on the Netflix. I'm telling you, I did. So last time, the last person I didn't know about on Netflix. It's been good on Amazon. The Amazons have been pretty good to me on the people I don't know.
Yeah.
The Netflix, not so much. I picked the guy who the entire special was in Chinese. That was bad. I stopped watching it and turned it off.
I got my Chinese
can't
dictionary
remember who
out
that
and
guy
watched the whole
was.
thing. I went word for word, looked every word up.
That was so I sat there and stared. I didn't even look at the dude. I stared at the bottom of my screen to read the translation. I'm like, why did this even pop up? Anyway, besides the point, we're gonna go Mo, Amer, Muhammad in Texas.
Yep.
Oh, that means I got to do a Mount Rushmore as well. So my Mount Rushmore, man, I had one a minute ago. Oh, I do got it. Looking over at Parker, Mount Rushmore. We may have done this, so correct me if I'm wrong. Mount Rushmore of video games.
I feel like we
Have we
did
done it?
something with video games. Man, did we?
Did we do Nintendo games? I think we did Nintendo games.
Did we do Nintendo?
I think we did Nintendo games.
Well, all mine are going to be Nintendo games again, but
No, I don't want to do that then.
no.
Shouldn't be
We
the
can do
same.
it.
Nope, not doing it. Here's the new one. Something we've never done before. I've got it. Mount Rushmore of animals. Your favorite animals. I've got my zoo cup here. This zoo cup from 3 years ago, 2018, has a chimpanzee on it. We're gonna go Mount Rushmore of animals.
That's excellent. Perfect. That's like Mount Rushmore of food.
Yes, which was probably my thing that I did too. So general and terrible. It's not even fun. Adam always has good ones. Mine are terrible because I don't think about them beforehand.
No. I'm
going
think
to take this podcast seriously.
It doesn't matter. We do.
It's not just going to be something for me to talk, just an opportunity for me to talk to Adam on a weekly basis.
Someday, if we lose the ability to do the podcast, we're just gonna call each other and talk for. It's really a couple days because we talk for 15-20 minutes the day before to plan this thing.
Exactly. And then Adam comes over and we hang out, and there you go. And that's what it'll be.
I'll just keep calling you every Tuesday and Wednesday for the rest of my life.
Call me on Tuesday. Podcast is done. Call me on Tuesday and just be like, yo, hey, brother, look, I want to come over tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get let's get an idea of what we want to talk about before I get there. And then when I come over, we'll go through the list and we'll talk about what we were going to talk about today on the phone.
I'm going to bring a microphone that doesn't work. It's not attached to anything. It's not hooked up to anything.
You guys don't know this, but right now I'm just talking into the iPad. I've got fake. These are fake. Everything's fake. It's fake. Fake.
What about that microphone? What about that microphone?
But what about the microphone? That's what Parker wanted to say. I was just kidding, buddy. It's not fake. All right. So anyway, Adam, you got anything to finish this thing off with?
I don't. I'm looking forward to the next year. I mean, this is the last one we'll do for 2021. I'm looking forward to more interview shows next year, and And when I say next year, I mean starting next week, hopefully.
Literally starting next week. And the first interview is more than likely going to be Andre Edwards, which means that pretty soon Adam's got to sing. And we'll also find out who has to do 100 push-ups due to the NFL picks. There's a lot coming to a close here in 2021. I want to thank every. God.
No, I'm so sorry. I did research on both of my things that I'm going to have to do. Both of my
research on push-ups.
I did research on those today. I did about 15 or so, see how I felt. And it didn't feel great. But and then I also was listening to some songs specifically.
10 at a time. That's why the 10 at a time was the way to go. I'm telling you right now, you can bust 10 out and feel good.
Yeah.
And give yourself 5 minutes and you the muscles are refreshed. I'm telling you, from a guy who's had to do it twice, because I've lost so many bets. The 10 at a time is the way to go.
Yeah. But you did 20, 15, 20, maybe 25.
Well, I did 20 one time at the end because I got behind.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. I gotta work my way back up, buddy. But I'll do that.
You'll be fine. 100 push-ups in what we usually do an hour and a half, 2 hours is not that bad.
Yeah.
So once again, I want to thank everybody for the year of the Nosebleeds podcast. It's been the craziest year of the podcast so far, without a doubt. Half the year was on Zoom. Half the year wasn't. We're going to end the year on Zoom. Thanks for continuing to listen. It's been a fun year. It's been a terrible December, and thanks for everybody who had all the good things to say about Uncle Paul. He's the greatest man in the world. Happy birthday, Uncle Paul. Are we officially past it? Not yet. Oh yeah, we are. Shoot, yeah. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Adam Schmidt. Yeah, dude, you're up at 1 o'clock. Parker Witt, once again, thanks for hanging in there. At the end of the year, always Parker is in the Rum Dum Studios with us, keeping the tradition alive. He's played 12 games of NBA 2K22. Until next year, brother. Cheers, and don't forget to turn your headlights on.